Hello everyone and welcome back to my Destiny reaction series. My name is Tara if you don't know me, and my goal is to catch up on the story of Destiny before the Final Shape expansion. Today we're watching Season of Arrivals. Before we get into it, I did read the records again from the Ishtar Collective, and there was some cute things, like a conversation between Zavala and Ikora, but the most interesting one was a record called False Idols. That was a conversation between a high priest Nocris and Savathun, which I have to be honest, they were using very colorful language, so a majority of it went like completely over my head, but my takeaway was that this Nocris person is going to be a big distraction, something about like Savathun said like he would be the screen of dissonance or something like that. It was very hard to follow. It was very colorful language. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it and see what it's all about.
The Hive wanted a return to war on the moon. They built a lunar fortress to back their assault. A grand stage to announce their revival. You climbed that scarlet citadel, and the Hive met you head-on. You buried them. But we found more than Hive on the moon. The dark has reached out.
Hang on one second.
No choice, but Hive met you head-on. You buried them.
Is that Shax's song?
And the Hive, their revival. You climbed that scarlet citadel, and the Hive met you head-on. You buried them.
It sounds very similar to Shax's song.
Found more than Hive on the moon. The dark has reached out. We have no choice but to reach back.
Let's do it. That sounded just like a little bit of a riff from the I'm on the moon, it's made of cheese. That's gonna be my go-to. Oh God, let's go. I want answers. Rasputin's like, look, Anna, it's all screwed up. War sets? I'm assuming. Yeah, I think those are war sets. That's not gonna be enough. Huh? Wait, was it actually enough? Oh. No. No, of course not. Oh my. What happened to the planet? What happened to Rasputin? Did they take him offline? Do they have like a countermeasure for him?
The day we've been dreading has finally arrived. The darkness is here. We need boots on the ground on Io. Recon. There's a pyramid. It's already disabled Rasputin. I'd lean on Eris's expertise, but we haven't been able to reach her. We both know what that means.
She's dead.
Eris is our best chance at understanding what we're up against. I need her at the tower. She's too valuable an asset to. Find her, Guardian. Bring her home.
Eris has gone missing, episode 47.
A guardian without a ghost. I wonder how that must feel. Hollow. Unnatural. When I look at that ship.
So I've seen these ships in previous recordings during this reaction series. This is the first time where I'm feeling the weight of the ship existing there. That's crazy.
Eris, can you hear us? Eris. Nothing. Zavala, come in.
Any sign?
My signals are being suppressed. I can't even summon a sparrow.
What do you see?
The pyramid. It's oppressive. Like a storm building.
Then be quick. Get out ahead of it.
Understood. No.
Uh-oh. Wait, are we getting kidnapped again?
Bring weapons. You will not need them. We offer only truth. We will.
Oh god. Court of
Something pulled us out of the
Savathun.
beam. What's happening? What is this place?
Okay, so the court of Savathun was where Nocris had this conversation with her, but she wasn't actually there. It was just a thrall that she was speaking through. I wonder if we're gonna have the same interaction? We're gonna have no interaction.
We're back on Io. Close to the cradle. I'm getting faint readings from Eris now. Let's keep moving.
Oh, I wonder
The
if
air down
Eris-
here is choked with strange communications. I don't know if I can...
Is that you, Guardian?
Oh,
You
there she
need
is.
it back at the tower. Zavala sent us.
Of course he did. I'm moving toward the cradle. It calls to me.
It? What is it?
The hive are frenzied. Cut through them. We must...
Oh god.
Zavala, did you catch that? This interference. I can't triangulate a point of origin. Keep going. Maybe the signal is better up ahead.
Doubtful, doubtful.
Guardian, your assistance would not be unwelcome. There are forces at play here I do not fully understand. The hive...
We need to move. All channels. Is anyone there? Eris.
Oh, my
talk
girl's
to
going
us.
through it.
Say something.
She
Please.
going through it.
What is that?
Ooh. It's like world tree imagery. Oh god. Court of Savathun again.
Something pulled us back in. It's keeping us from Eris. Look. Those are all eyes.
Oh, every single one of them.
There are too many of them.
Oh boy. The cradle.
You're hurt.
It is nothing. But this is something. A tree of silver wings. It grew from the last place the traveler touched before it left this world.
Interesting.
The darkness was drawn here. As the
Because of the
hive is
tree.
drawn to the darkness. These eyes of mine. The things they have seen.
I have to wonder.
What was that?
Osiris pulled out a metallic seed from, again, it was hard to understand because it was colorful wording, but Osiris pulled out a metallic seed from something on the edge of our solar, or our edge of our system, I believe. It was a difficult read. But I wonder if it's one of these, like, traveler's trees.
Something that does not want us here.
Darkness.
No. But it is of the darkness. It has to be you this time.
It is of the darkness. The seed is? Seed of silver wings.
I repeat, come in.
We hear you, Zavala.
Have you found her?
The seed breaks through the interference.
Eris,
Zavala.
report back to me in the tower, both of you. Our transmissions may be compromised.
Let's not keep him waiting, Guardian.
Her little limp, dude.
What did you find?
It found me. The darkness reached out, but something interferes. Its messages to us are being defaced
Defaced.
by the witch sister of the taken King Oryx. Savathun.
Savathun.
Your
Which
obsession gives
sister? Was she not married to Oryx? Isn't she the queen of the taken throne? I think that's what I read.
you power.
No. She feeds on denial, ignorance. The Guardian has discovered a means to circumvent her. A seed of silver wings.
Eris,
Or am
If
I
the
wait, am I confusing Oryx and Crota? Crota was the king, right? Oryx was the son? Or I might have them backwards.
Darkness reaches out, we must reach back.
I will not sanction this.
We are beyond sanctions. It is here. I will return to Io. If we cannot determine what the darkness seeks, we will find ourselves on the verge of a second collapse. Perhaps that is what Savathun wants.
A second collapse.
Please don't.
She's gonna.
Let me go, Zavala.
She's gonna do it regardless. So she wants to communicate with the darkness, kind of like how I want to find answers. I don't know if the darkness
were
is
we?
outright evil.
According to spectral analysis, the pyramid, its propulsion, the energy it's manipulating on Io, I don't see a ship. I see a being. A paracausal in nature.
Like the Traveler.
All records of the Golden Age agree. On the first day, the sky filled with darkness. On the second, the Traveler fell.
Oh crap.
Help Eris where you can, but be ready to deal with the enemy fleet when it arrives. We need you, Guardian.
I want to have a chat with the pyramid beings. Although it seemed like Ghost said that the entire pyramid was a being. Like the antithesis to the Traveler, maybe? How the Traveler is a being of light, but it's just orb. The pyramids are beings of darkness, but they're not orb.
Who said you were coming?
Hey,
Offered
Drifter.
me some made-up job. Plugging the pyramid's leaks. Keeping the dark bottled up. Said it was compulsory. I don't mind a little charity, but you ask me, containment's just like holding your breath.
Yeah.
Gotta let it out every now and then. Pyramids are making some moves. Moondust thinks we can use the darkness we catch to charge that seed. Might cut through all that pesky interference in the cradle. Might let her tell you what Savathun doesn't want you to know. Good thing, too, 'cause it is wacky out there. Look around. Cabal, Fallen, bunch of unsavory types looking to stake their claim. Jokers can't even see we're boxed in. All bets on you to pull through.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Coffee cat. Drifter smiles when he sees you come into the room. Then again, it seems like he was smiling already. When things get dark, everybody comes running to old Drifter, he cackles. Eris mentioned your situation. Said you could use a little guidance, a steady hand. He shrugs. Guess I'll have to do, huh? I don't have to tell you that seed you've got is all kinds of special. Take it down to where those pyramids are busy changing the honest dirt into something they like more. I threw together a souped up bank to help. He winks. Easy Money says you'll do great things together.
Yeah, that took you a while. You getting old?
Are you okay? Holy crap. It wasn't that funny.
I saw you snag that engram. You think no one was looking? You ready to get dark? Chuck it on the pyre, and let's see what old Drifter can cook up for you. Been kit bashing gear since that jerk ghost pulled me out of my grave. Got a knack for it, I guess. I'll work you up something nice.
As you enter the annex, Drifter's nostrils flare and his dark eyes snap up to meet yours. The effect is slightly unsettling. What's that sizzling in your pocket? You brought back a puzzle, huh? You pull out the Umbral engram. Drifter grins and thumbs toward a machine humming nearby. Just so happens I've got a puzzle solver here. What do you say we crack that little thing open and taste the yolk? So it's an engram, but
now
tainted?
or what? Do I push it and hold it out?
It's a device to extract the darkness from Umbral engrams and reveal the equipment hiding within. Cool. Some puzzles aren't meant to be solved in the light. Umbral engrams, touched by the darkness of the pyramids, cannot be decrypted by any light-bearing cryptarch. Bring any Umbral engrams or focused Umbral engrams you find to Drifter's Umbral decoder. I think I have one of these.
guardians.
From like when I played my little stint way back when. The burnt ozone smell of the Umbral decoder still hangs in the air. Drifter nods approvingly. Got something nice, huh? You're a natural. You've seen the containment unit in the corner. I call it the prismatic recaster. Pieced it together from junk I had lying around. He shrugs innocently. What can I say? A thirsty fella should always be ready to make lemonade. That recaster can focus the darkness from your seed. Help me skim some of that sweet darkness. Upgrade it a few times, and you'll come out of this with full pockets and a smile on your face.
You in? Kill anything big lately?
We make a mighty fine team. Guardian and the Drifter. Drifter looks you in the eyes and puts his hand up. He holds it awkwardly. With his other hand, he slowly reaches over and grabs your wrist, firmly putting your hand upward to complete the high five. God damn it. Now, I'm not going to get all technical here, but we'll need twisted energy to keep the recaster purring. I'll give you what's left of my supply to get you started. Slap this into the recaster and don't hold back when you find more. We're going to need all you can get if we're going to strike it big, Drifter says and chuckles quietly. Take that altered element and see how Umbral engrams react to it. He grins. You're going to love this next part. This stash contains twisted energy for powering... Oh, that's just what he handed to us. Ooh, a lot of pop-ups. Okay, we did a thing.
Sister?
We did it. Ha! Couldn't have done it better myself. You're a natural, Drifter says and rubs his hands together. It's time to put that seed to work. If you plan on helping Eris commune with the shadows or whatever, you'll need to recharge that seed with darkness each week. The recaster can do a lot, but its primary function is keeping that seed charged. Speaking of which, it's looking mighty empty. Drifter's usual grin creeps back across his face. I kinda like this. I'm the general, you're the enforcer, right? Check the recaster and head back out there, hero. Drifter's a cutie, dude.
Hey,
I can't believe I hated
know
him before.
everything's gone wackadoo out there. It's not every day a paracausal pyramid shows up on our doorstep. But Eris is looking into the darkness, and I'll be helping with that. However, if we want intel on the dark, quick and dirty, the Nine have seen it all. I say we head down into the hall, ask them one question, simple and clean. What is the darkness? What do you say, partner? How about one more ride with the Drifter?
Yeah, hell yeah.
What do you think you're doing, rat?
Eris?
You're a fool if you think I'll let you run amok in the Nine Realms with the Guardian in tow.
You want in on this? Fine.
He's like, you want to come? You want to come too? Hell's breaking loose out there, hero. You're going to do something about it?
Savathun's forces reach toward the darkness. Use the seed to burn them away. The pyramids speak to us, but Savathun's forces interfere. Banish them so our studies can continue.
So the darkness is trying to talk to us, but Savathun's forces, I'm assuming Nocris, like I read in the records, is like putting up these walls and obscuring the communication between us.
Servants of Savathun fight to keep us from the messages of darkness. Use the seeds to dispel their foul influence. Frenzied creatures swarm the tree once more. Do not let them keep us from the message of the pyramids.
I'm so curious.
Enemies of the light swarm the roots of the great tree. Bring the seed and banish them once more.
Why?
Savathun's
Why would Savathun not want us to communicate with the darkness unless the darkness is not outright evil, like I've been thinking?
influence over the cradle grows. Retake the tree of silver wings. Savathun's forces attack the cradle. Destroy them. And use the seed to reveal the secrets that sleep within.
Give and be given.
No, Chris.
Take and be taken. Whispered gifts are promised blades that twist. A liar's game.
Again with the colorful speech.
An agent of violence. What more must you cull? The sky is vast but shallow. The deep is boundless but suffocating. There is another way.
Nocris is but a grave's.
Wait, the sky, he talked about the deep in the sky. Now, okay, one thing I didn't understand. The deep, I'm assuming, is the dark, like the darkness, and the sky must be the light.
Its own
Right?
puppet.
Not that
Believe
clears
nothing you
everything up.
hear in this place, Guardian. Fight well.
I've just seen the deep mentioned a lot, and I didn't know what I was talking about.
The taken clean saves. Freedom for bondage. Cast off your worm, your tiny bulb of six, your tethered anchor that drags to the sky.
Worm? Speak for yourself.
Does Soul's clutch hold you now, as it once did me?
Didn't we kill Zol? How could Zol have influence over us?
Well done, Guardian. I will interpret the darkness's messages as best I can. Although this particular form of communication is logographic, composed of evocative glyphs.
Oh.
Metaphors, really.
Oh,
For example,
no.
this message. This word could mean protected, but it is loaded with subtext. There are connotations of blithe authoritarian forces, unshakable in their faith. The translation sheltered would not be sinister enough. Perhaps gelded. Clearly, the darkness does not believe the traveler to be as benevolent as we do. Continue your efforts. We have much to learn.
I mean, after learning a bit more of the Dark Ages, the Traveler doesn't seem all that good in the first place.
This is a simple message. Eggshell. The term carries all the impermanence and fragility you would expect.
Eggshell.
The darkness sees the traveler as something keeping us isolated from the outside world. It is a barrier we are meant to outgrow
Huh.
and break through.
Huh. So this pocket of space that we're protected in is like more like a cage?
This
Oh,
construction
From
is
the darkness
white.
POV.
Not like the color, but the absence of color. An indistinct void. Overexposed sameness of a thing long dead. The white of bleached bone. Of the traveler. This word denotes the moment before a change. The cusp. The brink. But it is a repetition of something that has already happened. A mistake from which no knowledge was gained.
The collapse, right?
The collapse.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Troubling.
God, that is beautiful. Is it growing over time? Did I miss that?
Interesting.
It looked more spindly earlier.
This phrasing is directed at an equal. The message here is gift. Something offered. In an outstretched hand.
It's gonna give us a weapon. Or a Zavala? What the hell?
Magnificent.
Commander, to what do we owe this pleasure?
I've been reading your reports. The Darkness's messages are,
Playful?
I was going to say, obtuse.
Obtuse. That is the word I would use.
Have a look at the latest.
What is it?
A gift.
This is not what we agreed upon.
I don't remember agreeing to anything.
Yeah, she just said I'm gonna go do it. Bye.
You're playing a dangerous game. Good thing you're a dangerous woman. The messages you've decrypted have proved invaluable. Now we know how our enemy thinks. Tell me, what if the pyramids intend to exploit our...
Maybe I'm being, like, lured by honeyed words, but I don't necessarily think that the darkness itself is evil.
curiosity?
We wield their gift against them.
And if it proves unwieldy?
Then it will be surrendered to the Vanguard for containment.
That's fair.
And what of the Hive?
Savathun will not confront us directly. It is not her way.
She thinks too much of herself. And too little of others.
Thank you.
I look forward to your next report. The drifters are... lacking.
So what was the gift? What were we given? Season rank progress! Whoa! I don't know what that was. Probably a currency for upgrades or something?
This message means contrast in the naturalistic sense, but also implies a judgment. Humanity assigns moral meaning to change, interpreting it as for better or for worse. Do we think of winter as evil because summer flowers must wither and die? We do not. And the darkness asks us why.
I really like the messages the darkness is giving us. They're obtuse, but they're interesting. Is the darkness claiming to be something akin to winter? In that it's not evil? It's just different?
This is a linguistic oddity. A back channel, a vocal nod, a yes. The darkness implores us to continue on our current path. Apparently it believes itself to be quite supportive. Curious. This word is bound to creation, but presented here as falsehood. Something like unborn. We say guardians are rebirthed by light, but I do sometimes wonder. The choice to live again was not our own.
We were forced to live again. Interesting. So the darkness is calling our rebirth as something more akin to being unborn.
This message
understand.
translates to a state of decontamination, something like purity. Though this conjugation emphasizes loss, a purity through subtraction, willingly or otherwise. The darkness could be speaking to the taken memories of new guardians, or the boundaries we accept when we follow the light.
I was going to comment on the
The
taken
limitations
memories.
forced upon us. In truth, it could refer to many things.
We're assigning meaning to very obscure messages.
This is a term for action born out of supreme conviction. Single-minded dedication, almost zealotry. Driving extreme behavior. Great atrocities can be couched in valor, it suggests.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Not can be. Will
be.
Future tense. Interesting.
Something akin to a
This
holy war.
message isn't directed at us. One translation might be petulant. The equivalent of a condescending wave of its hand or a wagged finger. Like a parent rebukes a stubborn child. I think this might be meant for Savathun.
So, I think we're onto it.
This is a biological term, like camouflage.
Hang on. I need to run with that thought. I think we're onto it in that all the causes of the problems coming from the darkness seem to be tied to Savathun. And the darkness is like, my wayward daughter, what are you doing? Why are you doing evil things? And she's just like, oh, you know, world domination and whatnot.
But this wording pertains to stalking predators. Specifically a carnivore disguising itself to get close to its prey. The darkness could mean this as a warning. Or it could simply mean to sow dissension among us.
I don't buy that. So they're saying that someone bad might be already walking among us? There might already be a traitor?
This message denotes a continued, inevitable movement. Falling would be a suitable translation, though the outcome here is not necessarily negative. The die is cast. As the light from a distant star takes time to reach our eyes, an event we cannot yet perceive has already occurred.
You are a child reaching toward a flame. The taken queen would not have you burnt. Pledge your allegiance and be reborn.
Nocris,
Oh, it got quiet.
Oryx's foundling and exiled brother to Crota. He is now bound to Savathun as a catalyst for her interference. Silence it.
Time to kill the Nocris.
The tree brings ruin. Bear its might or be buried in the shadow of its leaves.
The tree brings you ruin. Well, we know who the liar in this situation is.
You are but one chain of failures, claimed and sunken. We must be strong to break them.
To break our chains. He's a little difficult to understand.
Dark unlocked blades, a logic simple and narrow, a bridge with only one path.
Not only is he speaking more obtuse than the messages, but also he's very quiet in this particular section of recording.
Nocris is an abomination. His name stricken from the world's grave. You've done well to purge his stain from this failing court.
Why would Savathun work with him?
Nocris is an exploited outcast, little light. A necromancer. Though I'm sure the Taken Queen saw value in his craft. Death rituals to buck the worm's game. I dare not wonder how she meant to wield that knowledge.
We shouldn't dwell on it, you know. He's not coming back from that.
Good riddance.
I doubt
Savathun's
that.
haze has diminished considerably, though not completely.
She's still out there, hiding.
And I hope she saw what became of her brood. Hold still.
So my concern is that when in the record that I read, when meeting with Nocris, she asked to learn of his necromancies. So that's going to come up, I'm sure.
Don't you see? It is as we once said. In light, there is only weakness, only failure, only death. But where the light takes, the dark gives. No longer will you be a pawn. No longer will you watch the lives of those you care for be lost. Remember, in darkness there is only strength, only victory, only life. Ancient power awaits you on Europa.
So I didn't understand that imagery there. Maybe I'm not meant to yet.
This transmission can be translated as contact.
It kind of looked like all the different races possibly worshipping the pyramids.
Not physical, more ethereal, influential. It is conjugated here as an action with a singular subject, but innumerable objects. Guardian, what if we are not the only ones to whom the darkness speaks?
Could be speaking to everyone shown there, like the Cabal, the Hive, the Fallen.
A hunter and a dredgen ask a question. You seek to understand the nature of the dark. We forged an answer.
What?
Really?
You're standing in it.
Guardian, do you read?
Eris, I got this. Go back to yelling at that tree on Io.
You need a handler, Rat. And the Guardian needs support.
Everyone's so mean to the Drifter.
Suit yourself, Three Eyes. Hey, Three Eyes. Shax says you sang him a little ditty.
What?
Shax, Chunky Titan, One Horn. Did you sing him a song on the moon?
What a senseless question.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Stay off this channel. Should I need you, I'll call. Wait.
I didn't hang up.
Does that oaf still keep that skull with him?
In the tower? Yeah, hangs it over his spot. I wouldn't have tangled with that thing.
Desperate times. This Lil Diddy.
Lil Diddy.
Did it go?
It's made of cheese.
That would be the one. What is it?
Savathun's song. It's a viral chant. It can never be unheard. Now that Savathun has announced herself, relics of the dark across the system have begun to awaken. Tell Shax to remove that skull.
Okay. Wait, the fact that it's Savathun's song and it showed up in Shadowkeep? How far apart were these? Like, at least a year, right? Maybe
Sister, I
longer?
already tried.
What did that oaf say?
No.
The Nine have given you their answer. We hope it sates your curiosity. You've certainly taught us much.
You're welcome. Let us know if there's anything else we can do.
Rat, you're useless.
Relax, Moondust. We got what we came for. Let's leave the giant head alone.
The Nine were utilizing both light and dark to fight the Guardian. Drifter, what have you done, you insufferable rat man?
Hey, our mutual friend had a question. We all did. So we asked the Nine.
What was the answer?
Isn't it obvious? Light and dark are means to survival. It's not about saints or sinners.
The Vanguard wouldn't abide that answer.
Vanguard ain't here. I'm sick of their dogma. What do you think, Chosen One? Come on back, and I'll get you paid.
There absolutely should be a balance.
Bloodlust, hero. It hit me when you were tearing that last pack of Taken apart. What the Nine are trying to say. Light, dark, it don't matter.
Light and dark are not the same.
Didn't say the same.
Yeah.
Just the difference don't matter.
I think the Nine are trying to tell us that it's two different sides of the same coin, and that there probably should be a balance between the two, which I love. I love when games take that approach. Happiness and sadness, sorrow and joy, light and dark always have to go hand in hand. Zavala requests your aid. The Vanguard needs you. We must help our allies prepare for the coming storm. Visit Zavala in the tower to join the effort.
The first pyramid arrived above Io and the Traveler did nothing. Now they darken our skies, and still it waits. It falls to the Guardians to protect our system. Eris is working to understand the ships. We have to work to overcome them. I need you on the front lines. Talk to our people on the ground. Close our ranks, Guardian, and form a fist.
The exodus begins. The pyramids are on our doorstep. Zavala says, as you arrive, Eris is researching the signals. Even the Drifter is helping in his way. There's no hesitation in his voice as the commander gives his orders. Eris made Io her base of operations, but she can't report on the surface while she's studying that tree. Meet up with Asher Mir. He should have some strong opinions about what to do next. Down on Titan, Sloane would be more pragmatic, or should be. She'll want to tear that ship from the sky with her bare hands. You see a glint in his eyes. See that she does.
Ready to help.
Hello, Sloane. Long time no see. Preparation Titan. I was wondering who Zavala would send. Sloane says, as you arrive. She seems pleased to see you. He's watching the skies, but I'm more concerned about what's happening on the ground. I'm seeing increased hostile activity across the board. The Hive's digging deep for Golden Age tech. They know the pyramids have us distracted, and they're taking everything they can reach. In the distance, you hear the unearthly cackling of the Hive. They think they can pick our bones before we're dead? She squares her shoulders. The metals on her spalders clink softly. Not a chance.
Yeah?
Good work out there, Sloane tells you. I'll put together a plan. In the meantime, you just keep sending those Hive back through their portals in little pieces. She falls silent, lost for a moment in the shadow of the pyramid. She looks out over Titan's tumultuous sea, her jaw set, her mouth a hard line. You nod. Sloane nods back. It's enough.
When I entered the Pyramidion, I was led astray by curiosity and self-interest. I now pay an expeditiously advancing price. Comparable, regrettably, to how Cade's bride accosted him in the depths of that atrocious prison. As I understand it, retribution has had its claws in you. Bear in mind, assistant, try as you might, there's no circumventing the price.
Today I learned if you click and hold, you can speed up the video. That scared the crap out of me. Asher is a scientist. He knows better than most that every action has equal and opposite reaction. Whatever you choose to do, Asher just hopes you're ready to pay the price. Ashermir is working furiously at its terminal as you approach. Multicolored waveforms crash and collapse on the screen. There you are, assistant, he says. I saw you earlier as you ran off after that ship. The denizens of this moon are reacting strangely to the pyramid. Take to the field, record your actions, and bring me the data. I shouldn't have to tell you to hurry. He glances toward the black ship hanging in the sky, and his eyes narrow with irritation. Time appears to be of the essence.
Let's be quick.
Asher takes your data and enters it into his terminal with inhuman speed. The console emits a mechanical hum, then an incongruously cheerful chime. Novel stimulus yields novel data, he cries as his metallic arm spasms in agreement. As he studies the readout, an inscrutable expression twists his face. This pattern of interference, paired with the taken behavior observed in the festering core, something is studying the Vex. He looks toward the distant pyramid. There's a chess game being played here, and someone doesn't want us to see who wins. Continue your patrols, he says, waving you away. I will send word if I have more time to dedicate to your mentorship. I imagine that's likely Savathun.
Good to have you back.
What would Savathun want with the Vex, though, if she's playing a game of chess with them, essentially? The darkness is pushing deeper into our territory, Zavala intones gravely. The air around him crackles with energy. Mars, tell Anna Bray what we've learned about the pyramids so far. Help her defend against the creatures they draw. Then I need you on Mercury. Vance is in the lighthouse there and needs to be brought up to speed. The Infinite Forest has strategic value, but it is not our top priority. The air is suddenly still. Zavala speaks softly, almost to himself. There's so much we can't afford to lose.
Greetings, Guardian.
Hello, Brother Vance. Brother Vance is running his fingers over his books when you arrive. You tell him of Zavala's concern. He nods. I will attempt to divine which prophesized end time we find ourselves in. Vance traces an arcing, hypotrochoid spiral on a thick piece of parchment. Osiris and obscene amounts of fractaline to power the obelisks, he says, shaking his head at the paradoxes the old warlock tempted. Now I feel this taut reality tremble and groan. It anchors countless timelines, all pulling against the chronological center, and this pyramid threatens to collapse them all. The infinite forest is the key to all this, he says. How do I not yet understand? Any help you could provide would be most welcome. How could the
Greetings,
infinite force be
Guardian.
the key? Okay, I'm getting a little lost. Vance is studying his scrolls when you return. Osiris, the forest, the pyramid, he says. There are connections here that go beyond simple prophecy. He stops abruptly, then whispers in the silence. As guardians fall in the trials, this lighthouse chimes a dirge. Can't you hear it? Here, in the shadow of the pyramid, the tones have grown richer. He tilts his head for a moment, his mouth held in an open smile. There, it is the song of life and death. Knowing there is much to be done, you leave Vance to his studies.
Let's make it happen.
Annabray is studying her monitors in the Clovis Bray facility when you bring her Zavala's message. Look at this, she says, indicating a jumble of sine waves in front of her, harmonic oscillations. What if, before the darkness did, whatever it did to him, Rasputin initiated an emergency upload and... There's a screeching burst of hive interference. Her screens flicker as her console reboots. For a moment, Anna flares with furious light that scorches her keypad. Then she turns to you, dead calm. I could use some support, Guardian. You draw your weapon, and she smiles.
Let's work together.
Okay, the thing that confuses me is Rasputin would have had dealings with the darkness, right? As she just indicated. But other than just the warning that they're coming, he hasn't really spoken on them. Anna's working desperately at her console. On the screen, a single orange line glows weakly. Big Red was too clever for it, she says. I've detected a part of his signal cycling through the buffer. Problem is, I don't know how to get it out. Not much can safely hold a war mind. She picks up a fragment of Rasputin's shattered shell from her desk and rubs her thumb over its silver traces. You hear the muted thud of Cabal drop pods outside. Anna looks toward the sound wearily. I need to figure this out. In the meantime, could you ask the neighbors to keep it down? She gives you a grateful nod and turns back to her console. Couldn't... maybe I'm misremembering my reading, but couldn't an exo hold a fragment of a war mind? You bring your collected reports to Zavala. He looks them over slowly, one entry at a time. Give Sloane the time she needs to come up with her plan, he says. She's the best there is. Asher, on the other hand, his theories had better produce results, and quickly. Anna thinks some part of Rasputin survived. I hope she's right, for all our sakes. Vance's reaction is troubling. We need him clear-headed. Fanaticism is a luxury we cannot afford. Our territories are holding together, Zavala says, but the tension doesn't leave his face. Continue to aid them in any way you can. Thank you, he says, and turns back to the traveler. There's a lot of information to process from a lot of different angles, and I'm a little bit overloaded and confused. I'll have time to decompress, though. The branch gifted to you by the pyramid has gorged on paracausal power and been bound to you through Eris's repurposing of Savathun's twisted rituals. Oh, so it actually physically gave us that branch. Contained within an engram structure, the branch is ready to be forged with the Umbral decoder. As you grip it, a cold emptiness stings your fingers briefly before subsiding. Barely noticed. It is time for this gift to find its final shape. Bum, bum, bum.
Hope the payouts is good.
The final shape expansion is about a weapon? Zavala requests your aid once again. The Vanguard needs you. As the system falls into darkness, we must bring our allies to the safety of the tower. Those who answer the call will receive an honor of the highest order. Oh boy. There's so many moving parts right now. I'm getting a little confused. Zavala looks over at the city, preparing for battle across 4 fronts. We're spread too thin. So is my mental faculties, dude. As of now, our plan changes from preparation to evacuation. He takes a measured breath. For a moment, he looks old. Sloane asked whether we could spare a Vanguard ship to relocate important cargo. Coming from her, that's a full-on distress call. Head to Titan, help her tie up loose ends, and bring her home. I have also been in contact with Asher Mir on Io. He insists the data he's gathering is too important to abandon. Of course, his phrasing was a bit more colorful. You nod. Thank you, Guardian, he says reflexively. It's clear his mind is far away.
Ah, my assistant.
Asher thanks you for the significant progress you made on Io. Continue your adventures in the planet, earn his respect.
To gather verifiable data and gawking at my arm, are you? Let's get this over with.
His
I
arm.
entered a Vex construct, the Pyramidion. Inside, I suffered an accident. My arm was transformed. It is consuming me.
Yes.
If I do not find a way to reverse this, I will die.
Rip.
So, now you know I'm afraid.
I thought we already knew that his arm was killing him. As you relay Zavala's message to Asher, he grins dryly. He values my safety over documenting galaxy-saving knowledge. How noble, he says, and waves away Zavala's concern. If that is all the bureaucrat had to say, there are several tasks requiring your attention. Ikora told me of unusual Taken activity nearby, but I did not make it a priority. You must correct that oversight. In addition, an altered Taken roams the nearby caves. Fetch a sample so that I may probe it for dark influence. Most importantly, venture into the Pyramidion and search for scan evidence. I believe the dark ships came here for the same reason as I. The scientist raises an eyebrow. Paracausal as they may be, perhaps they are not beyond scientific curiosity. So I just want to quickly compartmentalize this. The travelers paracausal. The pyramids are paracausal. The worms are paracausal beings, ? And I think the Ahamkara were paracausal as well. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
In my centuries of life, I have met
thanks
many
you for the
people
work
who make their
done in securing
problems
Io.
unnecessarily complicated. Indeed, I may be one of them. I did not realize it before studying your approach. Your methodology is crude, almost Cro-Magnon-like. Really, I don't know how you get anything done. However,
Shoot gun.
I cannot argue its efficacy. Without you, I would be hopelessly behind in my research. I suppose, my dear assistant, what I'm trying to say is...
Thank you.
Leave until I have need of you again.
I can't believe he did us like that. I can't believe he did us like that. Asher studies the data you brought him. I finally see, he says. If the darkness claims the Pyramidion, it will dissect it for study, unfold its innumerable dimensions, wade through its multitudinous seas, radiozoic, peer through its crackling warp gates leading toward a millions of new realities. Asher's voice drops low and quiet. I will not allow it. If something steps out of that ship and descends down the pulsing electric corridors of the Pyramidion, through the infinite swirling canter dust of its interior, they will find me in its heart, on the shores of my radiolorian. These are big words for a small boy like me. Asher's arm emits a steady mechanical thrum, and I will be ready for them.
Before you showed up, this place was one weird hive ritual away from sliding into the ocean. Now look at it. They'd just as soon scurry back under a rock than face you again. Makes me miss being in a proper fire team. So if you need a Titan by your side, maybe someday. Commander Zavala told me to hold the line at Saturn, and I never let the boss down. I'll be watching your back from this end. Don't let up out there.
You're back, Sloan says. You're back, Sloan says. I've been sending supplies to Zavala, but I've not finished here, not yet. The Hive's preparing a massive ritual beneath the arcology. Get in there and stop them. They want us to back off, which means we push harder. There's also activity on the surface. Some kind of Hive treasurer has been dredging up Golden Age tech, and I've been letting it. She raises a hand to quiet your protests. They've been looking for something specific, and they finally found it. You just have to go pick it up. Made them do the dirty work for us. They did all the searching, and we'll just pluck that nice little Golden Age thing. Sloan takes the recovered tech and listens to your report. Savathun, she repeats. So it's worse than I thought. I was able to do a little research on this tech. Pieces of survival gear from the Golden Age, and they're just my size. When that ship decides to land, I'll be here to deal with whatever walks out of it. The resolute look in Sloan's eyes stops you from speaking. When it all started, me, Zavala, Shax, we didn't build the wall. We were the wall. The unbreakable woman's voice is unexpectedly soft. I told Zavala once, I was there for the beginning, and I'll be there for the end. She smiles. Her crow's feet wrinkle. It's not the end yet.
Good to have you back.
How are the evacuations proceeding? The commander doesn't wait for an answer, as though he already knows. He speaks with single-minded purpose. On Mars, Anna Bray believes she can salvage part of Rasputin. I believe she's right. Help her, then get her off-world safely. I've also received strange messages from Vance about being drawn to the infinite forest. This isn't the time for a pilgrimage. Bring him back to the tower. Help them understand. Help them all understand, Zavala says, and sets his jaw. We don't leave people behind. So we're evacuating everyone to the last city? Is that what I'm understanding?
Greetings, Guardian.
Brother Vance recognizes your footsteps and brightens as you enter his sanctum. I believe I could refine traces of Osiris. he says with hushed excitement, to allow one entrance to the infinite forest. There was a time I could not contemplate such an honor. Quantum cracks yawn in the forest, where echoes of Vex, Hive, Cabal, and Osiris swirl in a gyre. Strike these stress points, and I could seal the forest from within. You notice Vance's hands are balled tightly at his sides. The pyramids draw close. Through this system and beyond, the lightless are filled with fear. I am no Osiris, true, but in my small way, I will bring light to their darkness. There's a clarity in his voice. I will tell them they must believe. Is he going to sacrifice himself in the infinite forest and close it from the inside? Is that what he just said? It's a good end for Brother Vance, I think.
Hello, Guardian.
Brother Vance listens to your report with great interest. When you are finished, he smiles serenely. You have done me a great kindness, he says. I regret I cannot join you in the city. For a long moment, he stands peacefully in his cluttered sanctuary. I met Osiris once, Vance said. Write music, he told me, among other things. The sacred tones came from the lighthouse. The words are my own. No, not the tale of Osiris. My song is not one of worship, but one of hope, shining brightly in the dark. I will walk into the infinite forest and spread hope, Guardian. He gives you a beatific smile? Hope for the future. Dang. Okay, Vance.
Still in one piece?
I see you, bud. Music, chill. I'm glad Zavala sent you back down, Anna says and smiles. He's been asking after Red. It's sweet. Here's what I've learned. When he was attacked, Rasputin pushed some of his signal back along the comms relay. He'd be disguised as something benign. We need to find it. We can also help the Vanguard. Mars Hive are using a ritual to strengthen Savathun. Disrupt it, and while you have your weapon drawn. She gestures out the window, where towers jut from crimson dunes. Enact escalation protocol. Attract Hive, all the Hive you can, and do what you do. She takes a breath. He's still out there, she says. We're both counting on it.
Still in one piece?
Anna asks you to wait. I have to do some brain surgery with a soldering iron, she says. Soon, she pushes back from her desk. Blocky black chunks of metal and exposed wiring wreathe a small, cracked view screen. Her voice is hushed, as if a child were sleeping. There wasn't as much left as I had hoped. A fraction of a percent. But it's him. She carefully lifts the frame. He's light, she says in surprise, then louder. You in there, Red? The screen flickers soft orange. Anna beams as she turns to you. Let Zavala know I'll bring Rasputin to the tower. Whatever happens next, we'll face it together. Rasputin's screen pulses weakly with blue tones, then holds a strong, rich, vibrant purple. Our little buddy made it through!
So this is how it ends. Anna Bray will join us in the tower with what she salvaged of Rasputin. But the rest... Let Brother Vance chase shadows. We can waste no more time trying to stop him. Ashemir will stand and fight. He still has the heart of a Guardian. And Deputy Commander Sloan. She plans to meet the pyramid above Titan head-on. One woman against the darkness. What more could I have done? I tried to unite the Vanguard, and now we lie splintered in the face of the Dark Fleet. All we have left is our faith. Faith in the Traveler. Faith in the light.
Personally, my faith is wavering.
Faith in you.
But what if the darkness isn't all bad? What if we wield both like the Nine does? Oh, hey, Spider. I had complete faith in you, Spider says with greedy anticipation. It looks like you've recovered everything the House of Kings salvaged before they, met with an untimely fate. Spider leans back, satisfied with your efforts. In exchange for your discretion on matters of my salvage, I wanted to offer you this, something I picked up in the Dreaming City a while back. Think of it as a trophy for a job well done. Now run along. I have business to tend to. Ascendant lens. Focusing lens from the Dreaming City. Ah, my dear associate, Spider says with a laugh, you must be here about that favor I asked. I'll cut to the chase. Some years ago, the House of Kings had a rather auspicious salvaging operation out in the rings of Saturn. The crew ran afoul of the Vex on their way back, and they disappeared, along with their cargo. Rumor has it that the Vex hauled it to one of their simulations, the Haunted Forest. My proposition is simple. I give you the coordinates, you hunt down the caches, and we split the difference. Just one catch. The caches were all locked with adaptive ciphers from the House of Kings, so you'll need to scrounge up some decoders around the system to unlock the caches. I'm sure someone will be willing to part with them one way or another. Maybe if you find everything, I'll have a little something extra in it for you to sweeten the pot. Limited time event, traverse the streets of Last City and investigate the disturbance. Dude, that's so cool.
I'm picking up something. It's like a ghost, only bigger.
Big
emanating
ghost.
from the Traveler. There's a resonance in the light I haven't felt since the day I was born, and when I found you. Ghosts reporting in from across the system. We can't explain it, but we all sense it. A heartbeat.
Of a ghost within the Traveler, or like something like a massive ghost. Interesting. The Traveler itself? Or like a massive emissary? Damn, that's cool. Rip ankles. Is that another one of its pulses? What is going on? Is it cracking open even more? Pardon my voice. I think it is. Dude, I really appreciate these time lapses they recorded.
Something is coming. I can feel it. It is drawing power. Could it be enough to drive the darkness away from us?
I don't know if I want the darkness driven away. I still don't fully understand it.
Every fire team has returned to the city, even the hunters. They're with the people, keeping them safe. And the last time this happened, the world ended. I'm not worried. I'm not.
Definitely not. Definitely not worried at all.
It is reforming, healing its wounds. This will not be the end. It will be an escalation.
Oh boy. Flashbang deployed. Help, help, it's just a white screen. Oh, Jesus. Like in the Destiny 1 intro, with the darkness encroaching. Server offline, the light cannot save you. What? Okay, so Season of Arrivals. Dude, there's a lot to unpack with this. They started throwing a lot of information at us, but the big takeaway that I'm getting is that I sound like a broken record, but I still don't think the darkness is necessarily evil. I think there's some sort of balance to be stricken with the light and the darkness, the Traveler and the pyramids, and Savathun is just sort of like this orchestrator of chaos in the background of everything else going on. I'm really excited to see how this shapes up in the future, especially as being left with this last explosion of the Traveler pushing back the darkness might even delay us dealing with the pyramids or the dark altogether for a little while. But I just want to have like a long sit down with the darkness. So what are your intentions with our people? What do you want out of this? But yeah, we'll see what comes next for Destiny 2. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, consider subscribing for the rest of my Destiny journey, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!